Welcome to the Virginia Civics and Economics Lecture Series. At the end of each slide, there will be a 5-second delay. Use this time to complete your notes. When you are done, push play and move on to the next slide. This presentation will begin in 5 seconds. Welcome to Virginia Civics and Economics Lecture 5.2 on influencing public policy, and it's time once again to talk about the President of the United States of America and the number one influencer of that person, John Q. Public. That's right, John Q. Public is the nation's number one influencer of public policy. But who is John Q. Public? Is it our first responders? Or is it Khloe Kardashian? Is it the members of this bagpipe band? Or is it the members of the legal profession? Perhaps it's the members of KISS, my favorite rock band from the 70s. Or it's Bill Gates, the richest person on earth. Could it be this pilot or this teacher? Or maybe it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, the former quarterback of the New York Jets. Well, the answer is all of these people are the nation's number one influencer of public policy. But the real question is, how can these people influence public policy, and do they have to work alone? Today we're going to answer those questions, and with that said, let's go to the next slide. How does John Q. Public influence the government? Through lobbying, which is when someone seeks to influence the legislature or the executive branch to take action, either to introduce or vote for or against a bill, or to take action on behalf of the government. Represent. I voted you into the government, and now I want you to do certain things to protect my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness on a federal level, or my health, safety, and welfare on a state level. So, individual citizens or a business can directly lobby on an issue. But the power of an average citizen or business to lobby on their own is minimal. There are a lot of people trying to get the government's attention, so often the government's response is, I can't hear you. To get around this, we hire lobbyists. These are people hired by a business or cause to persuade the government to support that business or cause. It's real important to remember that lobbyists get paid to win favor from politicians. This is K Street in Washington. A lot of lobbyists have offices here, and then they are lobbying the government officials throughout the District of Columbia. So when you hear a government official say, nobody tells me what to do or say, that's probably not correct. They have been influenced by lobbyists. Here's the thing. There are issues about how lobbyists influence the government. Go to the next slide. So how do individuals actually influence public policy? Individuals influence public policy via 3 general activities. Participating in politics is number 1. Voting, campaigning, seeking office, joining a party, and making political contributions all influence what will happen when that individual finally is elected and makes it to either Washington or Richmond. Also, expressing opinions is important. We do that through lobbying, demonstrating, writing letters to elected officials, using the internet to set forth a particular position, and using social media. In the 21st century, the internet has become a great leveler. At this time in history, individuals have a lot of power to say things on their own through the internet. Then there's joining an interest group like the Sierra Club, PETA, Citizens United, the National Rifle Association, the National Education Association, unions, the NAACP, or the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the American Civil Liberties Union. We can go on and on and on. There is a lobby for almost every cause in the United States. For example, AARP, that's the Association for the Advancement of Retired People. It's a group for people over 50 years old. They have significant power in Washington and Richmond when it comes to issues impacting people over 50 years old. Then, some individual citizens have more influence on elected officials due to their status or notoriety. People like famous actors, sports figures, artists, musicians, entrepreneurs, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. Arnold used his fame to influence a national program for physical fitness. Go to the next slide. While individuals influence public policy in one way, interest groups do it in quite another. Interest groups identify issues of concerns, everything from gun rights to gun control, animal cruelty, the environment, business rights, consumer rights, societal issues, religious issues. The list goes on and on, but most interest groups focus on a narrow issue. This is the National Education Association, and it represents teachers on issues like teacher pay, how teachers are treated professionally, and what teachers are being asked to teach at a state and national level. So how do these interest groups influence public policy? Interest groups make political contributions to help elect legislators or appoint executive officials sympathetic to their cause. And interest groups lobby government officials by hosting campaign events, inviting officials to meetings, conventions, fact-finding trips, and other events, and providing testimony in front of Congress. In other words, there's a lot of money being funneled through this system, and because of that, these are both very controversial ways to influence public policy. Then there's this. Interest groups use social media, the internet, newspapers, and commercials to appeal directly to voters on particular issues. Remember these guys, the AARP? Look out for commercials from these guys influencing public policy. That's it for this lecture, and I look forward to seeing you in class.